Hanging out.
Oh my God, we have cheese
Hey, you're
sticks.
hanging out. We got cheese sticks. Who's
Yes,
got
we
cheese
do.
sticks?
I do. I'm so
I
excited.
was like, do you have any? Do you have any pickles?
No, I wish I had marinara sauce.
Wash
but I
down
don't
with
have
some
that.
bleached white ale.
Actually, yes, I do have pickle.
Hey there, beer tubers! Welcome back to Maxwell Stars Beer Review. Now we're here with the post-analysis chat, where we just shoot the shit for a while. What are you guys drinking other than Blanche de Chamblay?
Nothing.
I actually need to get a beer now. I didn't know we were going on, so.
I see how you.
I said I wouldn't drink tonight. Let me go down to the fridge.
Mine's empty except for that yeast.
It'll either be a Uental or it'll be one of the last Line of Cool Oktoberfest I have there.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Line and Kugel's shandies. I know how you love those shandies, Rob.
Yeah, I'll bring some other Line of Cools.
I thought he's got cougars.
Cougars.
Yeah, why not? They can teach you
Cougars
stuff.
in the basement. Are you Paul now?
Isn't that hookers in the basement? Dead ones?
The dead ones, yeah.
Well, dead or dying.
And then he yells, "Shut up!"
What did he actually say that?
Already you're channeled at a whole new level of class.
You don't even know the meaning of the word.
No, we don't. Not anymore.
All right, let me go get a beer. I'll be back.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. You keep talking, Joe.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I guess I'll wait for you guys to get a beer.
Oh, Joe, you can do a monologue, right?
Well, I mean, I was gonna go get a beer too, but I mean, I don't want to leave the.
We have any like get beer music or anything we can cue up?
No, I don't want to leave the viewers all alone with Greg. That's very problematic. That is not a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, don't leave me here. I might start doing beer jokes again. So
Yeah, we don't need those. I mean, I'm a fan of dad jokes. I really am. They're good times. But if there is anybody out there watching outside of us, what are you drinking? Hopefully it's a beer. If not, though, we won't hold it against you. I highly recommend dill pickle juice. It is very tasty.
I'm having a high quality High Park Brewery under the Sakura Cherry Blossom Lager. And it's not that good.
It's totally like a 6 out of 10.
Yep, that sounds about right. Although this one has improved with age, mainly because the flavor has dwindled a little bit.
Nice. That's cool. Are you excited about Bring Out Your Dead coming back this weekend?
I am actually. I'm going to be doing a vertical between 14, 15, and 17.
Oh, you got to record it.
I want to see this.
Oh, Lee's the now defunct king of BeerTube is
back.
Joined us. He is great.
I actually decided to mix it up. I want Bell's Third Coast.
Nice. Nice. That's a great beer. Lee, what are you drinking this evening?
Just a whole second here.
Now hold on
Now hold on, guys.
Pouring. It's like he's peeing.
But a hole sucker.
Oh, Fuller's Imperial Stout.
Oh, balls. Oh, baby.
Thankfully,
All
it's
right.
not selling very well at my local NSLC, so it looks like there's going to be several boxes there waiting for me next payday.
The joke's on them.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot with 2 L's, by the way.
Yeah, my friend Jack is a stickler for spelling, pronunciation, and fucking with people. So that's.
I like the fucking with people part.
That sounds gross. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, you always make it sound grimy, Greg.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
Is it what you do? It is kind of what you do.
Come on, Joe. When a man loves a woman, he poops on her, just like the song.
Oh.
I don't remember those. That must be the uncut version of that song that wasn't played on the radio.
Don't remember any of this. Ever.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
What's going on?
Speaking of pooping on people.
It's like a massive hello to Massive Beer Reviews. Now we have some star power in here. How's How's the life of fame and fortune treating you anyway?
Awesome.
He sounds so excited about it too.
Mm.
Mm.
Life is fun. What can I say? Yeah. How about
Well.
you guys?
It's going.
Life is life. As a great man once said, it is what it is.
Who was that great man?
I don't know. I forgot his name.
Rod Carrier.
Oh God, he said that.
What are you drinking tonight, Matt?
A whole bunch of shit.
Running
Like
the gauntlet, baby. Going through everything.
no, yeah, just decided to do a couple things. A lot of hoppy bullshit. This right, I'm drinking this stuff.
Is that from
Little
what you call?
little kitty boys day off, hipster shit. You know what I'm saying? Veil.
Yeah, the Veil.
Yeah.
Couldn't
It's
think
not
of
a
it.
Harvey Weinstein.
I was thinking it might be Roy Moore.
Harvey Weinstein.
No, that would be
No.
more Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was trying to correct myself there.
There's so many to choose from nowadays.
Choose now. You been down to Alabama or something?
Sadly, we're not having a dry spell for sexual molestation and pedophilia.
No, I mean, we
There's
almost
plenty
did
of that
it.
going on in this chat.
It was close there for a second, and then we thought, maybe, and then, here we go.
Everyone's like, the worst is behind us. Hang on a second. Hold my beer. Like 7 more people.
We
They
just
were-
struck oil, baby.
Yeah. I think it's kind of dwindling now. Now it's just a single guy just masturbating in front of women. So it's like it's kind of still creepy and really weird.
Actually,
but-
that was the weird part about that whole thing. I actually I'll side on the side of the people who are like abused and shit. But the one thing I actually thought was really weird about it is that everybody like railed on top of like Louis C.K. rightfully, but all that shit came out like 2 years ago
Yeah.
and no one gave a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like all this other
It
thing.
wasn't a secret at all.
It's
Like,
a-
it was well known, but not official, but still really well known.
No, it was official. Like all the girls that that came forward 2 years ago. It's just that no one gave a shit until today, which is that in itself. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying like what changed. You know what I mean between then and today. They make it a big deal today is that it wasn't 2 years ago. We're not talking 20, 30, 40 years.
It's the current thing that SJWs are concerned about. Eventually, they'll move on to something else, and no one will care about sexual harassment again. That's just how it goes.
No. But you set precedents and you set like a new water level for things. Do you know what I mean? And it's just I don't know. It's weird. It's not good. It's bad. It should be taken care of. But it's like politics. Everybody pulls in one direction so hard, or each direction so hard. It's hard to keep
Oh, he
up.
said pull.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun the last couple of weeks. And by a lot of fun, been really fucked up.
I'm just
No,
waiting.
I
For,
just
I'm just waiting for the Pope to come out and say, "Hey,
well he reigns over an institution that's done it for years, so it wouldn't be a big surprise. So, but yeah, it's just now it's more of a horror story of like, who am I going to wake up to? What personal hero of mine am I going to wake up to and find out that he fucked an underage girl or raped a woman in the closet or some bullshit like that? Like, Jesus.
Oh, in a
Christ.
closet.
Wow.
If they really
Well, what
want
would you do it, Joe?
I'm not
Oh,
saying
no.
I'd do it. It's one of those things where if they really want to get some, I'd imagine juicy stories and jump on the back. You just look at wrestling in general, just everything that's happened under Vince McMahon's watch, like the last 35, 40 years, and you would have year-long awesomeness for journalists out there and news publications that want to publicize all this stuff. You just go see what WWE's up to.
Actually, I'm waiting for it to filter because it's going to filter to every direction. It's just that, like movie stars and stuff like that, and like people in like popular entertainers, it's easier to come out that way. And other people have said it, so it's not my You know what I mean? I'm not unique on it, but I can't wait till like all the like super powerful owners of all the sports teams have it come against them. You know what I mean? Whether it be Jerry Jones or Mark Cuban or all those people who are
Jerry
like
Jones already had that photo out there that looks like he was doing something.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a photo that looks like you're doing something as opposed to somebody, I didn't want that done to me. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference. You know what I mean? Like I think Jerry Jones I was hanging out with hookers and that was bad. There's a difference between that I think he was literally hanging out with hookers and it ended up being a bad thing.
And I think that's bad.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones wasn't good. It was probably bad.
But there's a difference between that and somebody saying, you know what I mean, crying foul on something he didn't, and to see these kind of sports owners, which are literally like more popular than congressmen or fucking political figures, like they're almost untouchable because they feel like they're untouchable. To see that happen to them, it'll be curious to see what happens.
It's going to filter down to the beer world. You know it. There's going to be these allegations from 30 years ago. Michael Jackson raped me in the Fuller's Brewery. It'll be a little too late, but you know, and everyone's going to be confused because they're going to be thinking that Michael Jackson or wait, well, who are you talking about?
Who did the raping?
Nothing really surprises me anymore. That's the thing.
The thing is, like, you look at it, everybody's always talking about it now, but like I told people the casting couch has been there for how many years? So people knew shit was happening in Hollywood anyway. So why are you upset about it now? For some of the things that you didn't fix
that's right. The anonymous cameraman was Harvey Weinstein the whole time.
Well, no, I mean, it
wasn't like Weinstein created the cat. Not that what he did was okay. I'm saying he didn't create it, but this goes back. I mean, hell, the Kennedys were probably doing shit too when they were in there.
Yeah, but someone didn't. You know, that's like saying I didn't create. You know what I mean? A nuclear bomb. I just used a nuclear bomb. But, you know,
before they actually do something, it's like something hits, and they're like, now they're upset about it.
Well, it kind of goes back to
for all this time. It doesn't really affect people to a certain point.
Well, I guess it boils down to what's changed in the culture where now victims feel like they can safely come out and actually speak about it. Because there's I mean, some of it's just timing. Like it's a pile on, of course. Yeah. Like there's a lot of that goes on in any instance of this shit, but a lot of these people were sexually abused in exchange for careers,
right?
And then there's this whole culture of keeping people silent and hush hush and don't talk about it, and just smile and move on, and you'll be making millions within a year or whatever,
And see, that's my whole problem with this, and I know this won't be a popular opinion, like most of mine aren't. I'm not talking about children getting raped. I'm not talking about any of that shit. I'm talking if you willingly chose to have sex with somebody to further your career, and now you're bitching on it, as Joe would say, that's on you.
Let me in here.
Don't even quote me. And I'll argue against this for this point, and I think this might land enough for people to. I think it's a good analogy. Is that a lot of honest sports figures who didn't want to do steroids felt they needed to do steroids to get ahead in the game just to compete. If steroids if it was illegal and no one did it, they wouldn't have to do it. So, where a lot of other people fucked themselves to stardom, other people who didn't want to do that, that's the only recourse they had to get to stardom. So it's not so much that you can't just be like, oh, that person knew they were going to get a good job because they fucked. Well, maybe they felt they needed to because of the precedent set by other people who were less whatever than them.
Yeah, see, unfortunately, my sympathies don't go that far because guess what? There's other careers for you out there other than acting. You know what? That's what you felt you had to do.
This
is ultimately what happens when it's a wrong time to take your dick out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like saying someone is like in the sports and be like, get another job, man. Get a job as McDonald's, man. If you don't want to work, you don't want to play ball, man. Just get a job at McDonald's.
But you're
what's he gonna do? Throw the fucking burgers?
You're making a choice, and that's what you're choosing to do.
Right.
And that's there's
but when you're
that choice.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when you're choosing to be an actor, you're not choosing to go to Hollywood and get raped.
No, again, I'm not talking.
No, not to go get raped. I think
or audition on a casting couch.
I'm thinking he's saying some women and some men probably out there too did the same thing to sleep for some of the roles and stuff as well.
Oh,
now if they didn't get them, they come back. You got to separate who's saying what. They may come back and say, "Well, I did it, but I was forced into it," when maybe they didn't. They weren't forced into it, but they see other people are now stepping forward against the person. So
you know what? Some people readily do it. Some people have no goddamn problem with it.
Right.
But for the most part, a lot of these stories that are coming out, and whether you believe the validity of a lot of them or not, that's up to every personal person. But a lot of the stories about, say, like from a Harvey Weinstein perspective, a lot of this stuff just sounds like disgusting, abusive, fucking him cornering girls in a fucking hotel room. It's not like he's striking a deal with these people. He's just like flat out assaulting them.
But there was a lot of the stuff I read was like a lot of like, oh, I can make and break you shit, but in a very kind of like, tongue in cheek kind of thing. And on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm not saying this is how the things that have come out nowadays are, but I just hope. I mean, you hope there is a leveling moment where everything. Like, I'm not saying it's all been horrific. The stuff I haven't heard anything to where I was like, that's bullshit. Let's put it that way. But I hope it doesn't get to the point where like it would be like, oh, I went to this place and this guy asked me out on a date. And I said no, and then he asked me out a second time, and I said no, so I feel violated. Like there has to be a balance to the whole thing. And again, I'm not saying that's what's going on now. There needs to be a balance where it is now. I just hope it finds its own leveling point at some point or another.
Yeah. But I think if you look back on the issue too, not just like with Weinstein, but if you go back to say the Hefner situation, all of a sudden Hefner dies, and all of a sudden people say he did this and he did that and everything like that. But yet, a lot of the women that wanted to get positioned, they put themselves up to actually take those positions. Not saying he should be able to do that because they were trying to be models or whatever. I'm saying there's also a side of it that can say they also put themselves in positions too. So it's kind of a weird type thing on how you work it all through that. And there's guys that are affected too. Like they had a thing on TV where the two Corys were on the show they do, I guess.
Well, Terry Crews is one of the biggest.
And Corey Feldman was upset Corey Haim didn't protect him when he was getting raped. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was getting raped the same time you were. So it's not just the women it's affecting as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the Kevin Spacey stuff have to do with boys. I don't think any of them. I don't think he did anything to women. So.
And and also sadly, I mean, there's been rumors, and I wouldn't even say rumors. Like there's been documented cases with Bryan Singer for years where he's been basically holding parties where, preying on young male actors.
Oh wow!
Essentially, so. I mean, that stuff has been going on, and really, it's just a sad thing. The culture there, and they're kind of self-policing in the sense that they don't really police at all. They just keep it quiet and lock it down. That they just turn the other cheek. They just look the other way whenever this shit happens.
Yeah, but at the same time, and like it's like a weird balancing act to go between the two. It's like you just said, like Bryan Singer hosting all these kind of parties, preying on young male actors. Like, how is that different than the fraternity mindset in America, to where like all these kind of older, almost graduating guys have all these freshman girl parties at the fraternity, and like how is that different in any way whatsoever? But no one's. I mean, people talk about that, but you don't see it on national television or people complaining about stuff like that. So, like, why is the conversation about this?
The conversation about movies because there's money involved,
and that's the point. And I get it, and it's what everybody looks up to, and like these people exist on our Facebook walls and our Twitter feeds and stuff like that. So it makes sense. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to say that to like dilute it or anything. It's still egregious and a horrible thing. It needs to be universal. It just doesn't need to be cherry picking for the moment kind of shit.
No, I totally agree there.
Yeah.
It's just easy to it's much easier to talk about Kevin Spacey raping kids than it is some nameless fraternity dude somewhere. Like you're not going to get the money, you're not going to get the social media exposure talking about some football player in college raping a cheerleader, right?
You're not going to get
some you would if it's a big college, you will. If it's like an Alabama player, or if it's Ohio State or a real big program, they do get noticed.
Yeah, but still, that stuff gets kind of shut down fairly quickly. Like that stuff goes away about as quick as fucking school shootings at this point.
Yeah, well, that's because the league still hires them, so they kind of get through it anyway.
Yeah,
it's almost like actually opposite of that. Like almost like it's weird because I remember back. I mean, you guys know, Lee knows, and Joe knows it old enough to know that shit. Is that athletes used to be untouchable, and now it almost seems like authorities or people when they pull them over, that it's almost like a gotcha moment to where like, oh, I got you now. I'm going to make a point out of you because I found that you were doing something bad. You know what I mean? It used to be,
right.
Don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, and now it's like almost like you're under more of a microscope. So it's like it's a weird balancing act with everything.
Nowadays, you'll hear a lot about so and so tried to play the hey, a player for this team card, where back in the day that actually would get you off on most things. And nowadays it's like, whoa, you are? Well, let me just post a quick picture with you on Instagram and Facebook and make sure everybody knows about that I am arresting you for DUI because, it's like.
Yeah, but I think they're still that good. I know personally from what I've been told from where I went to school that there's been times where the coaches still get in trouble, but they still get taken care of down there.
Yeah, I mean,
it depends, I guess.
To go back to what you guys are talking about, like it all comes down to impact and what kind of story is going to make an impact on, I guess, the general population. And you look at high-profile movie stars, you look at high-profile athletes. Yeah, them doing stuff like this, people are going to want that to be out there because everybody knows. Your local college, your local high school, it might get regional or local coverage, but it's not going to, more often than not, it's not going to make the rounds on social media where it becomes a big deal. Yeah. So it's easier to publicize, the bigger, more well-known athletes and actors than it is, your local high school when it goes down. So, and I get why it happens, and that's the good and bad of social media nowadays.
Well, a simple thing from a person here with a journalism degree, if you were told in school, if it bleeds, it leads. So anything that kind of brings misery is always going to be like a top story out there. That's how journalists are taught in a lot of their programs.
Their job.
Which really isn't fair if you think about it. I mean, whether or not you're a millionaire celebrity or whether or not you're Lee Russell, if you do something wrong, you should be treated the same, really.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's kind of what Matt was getting at earlier. It's just like in theory, it should just be straight across the board. It should be the same. I mean, it should be, it just shouldn't matter who you are. If you rape someone, then it should be pretty much the same thing. And it's just like, it's not. It's like pick and choose based on other people. And it's just like, I don't know.
And just for the record, Greg, I only threatened to strangle you to death. Chartered Scotch comment. I haven't strangled you yet, so let's not convict me in a court of law.
Listen. Until you're willing to get on a plane, I feel pretty safe.
The act has to happen first.
Well, you might be able to get a seat sale if you look now.
Yeah, well, the second Lee gets on a plane, I will legitimately have to change my address.
I might walk there. That comment was pretty good. That comment was pretty fucking egregious.
Feels like he will walk 5,000 miles. I don't know. It'd be a long walk though.
The idea of adding like a lime wedge to your glass of scotch makes me want to walk to your house right now and kill you.
If you walk to his house and then do something heinous to him, you have earned my respect beyond anything imaginable for me. That'd be like
so. If you were a Supreme Court judge, you'd just be like,
I'd be like, hey, he put in his time, effort, he put in work to go and murder this man. Like it happened. That. Like it's a long way from Nova Scotia to the greater Toronto area. It's a long way walking it. You might even have to swim at some point.
Even as the guy getting murdered, I have to have a little respect for you for putting in that much effort.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Hey, I care. I'm a guy who cares.
I'd shake your bloody hand, no doubt.
There'll be no blood. I'll strangle him. He'll be clean. Then I'll throw him off his balcony.
Yeah, you might want to just kick him a few times, maybe with your steel toe boots. Just a few times. Just get a little bit.
What the hell is wrong with having a little lime wedge inside your shot of your dram of Lefroy Quarter Cask? Anyway.
You're much more closer to me, Nick, than Greg is. It's much more feasible that I walk to your fucking house.
I'll just throw whiskey at you until you go away.
I'll just kill you and drink all your whiskey.
Like Predator, you just spread it across your body and Lee can't see it.
Except what you don't know is that Nick's already put fruit inside his whiskey bottle.
That's on him.
That would be
No, he has to he has to actually record a beer review and post it to his YouTube channel before he's even allowed in the province.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm never going to New Brunswick again. Big loss.
There you go. Oh.
Ooh.
You can't get overpriced Unibrew anymore. Yeah.
Speaking of the lack of Canadian beer news that we're talking about tonight.
Oh, I mean, if you guys want a Canadian beer news, I got Canadian beer news.
Why? Did you actually have stuff written down? Or
No, I can get it in about 3 seconds like Chad does, because all he does is go to CanadianBeerNews.com and reads the articles. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens.
I was just going to bring up the subject of True to Diab. What's everybody think about that buyout?
Who bought them?
I think Molson did. Wasn't it?
Molson, somebody up there.
Yeah, Molson. Yeah. AB InBev, Molson, whatever. It's all the same. No, it isn't.
They're all in the same room.
Well, yeah, they're bought out by a big.
I get the feeling they're not going to. They're going to do what they do with everything they buy out. They're not going to touch them for a year. Then they're going to move in their equipment and have them brew on their system.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get spared like YouTube did.
You get that sterile.
So they will be like Creemore Springs. They'll be a.
The beer is not bad, but. The beer's not bad, but it tastes like it could brew it on any system in one of their either province.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I have a beer comparable to Bourbon County where people still wait in line and buy it, but then like, no, it's okay because I like it, but I don't buy any of the rest of their junk because it's garbage. But Bourbon County, I'm gonna still buy it.
You always get that. Yeah.
Well, do they have a beer like that? I don't think they do. That'd be funny if they did.
I don't even know if I've ever even had any True to Diab stuff.
I probably have.
I probably have, but I can't remember.
What is True to Diab's biggest beer anyway? Like Blanche de Shawi or Shawinigan Handshake?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I've never had any of their stuff. Then I don't think.
Yeah,
and you're a better man for that.
I've had a bunch of their stuff.
You're not a better man for that.
What's that funky wild beer? The one I actually got a hate for it because I didn't like it. The one that tastes like dill pickles. It was
whoa.
Was it called Alex Windsor? Is that what?
Yeah. No, I can't remember. It was. I gotta go to YouTube.
Tastes like pickles.
Yeah, the only thing I really know True Diab for is that I kind of mistake it for DCL every once in a while. That's about it.
Whoa!
Can't say how you do that.
Didn't somebody make a beer called True to Diab? Like not the brewery, but a beer close to that, like whether it be DCL or Unibrew or something like that. I just maybe it's just my brain being weird, but I don't know.
I don't recall it. Could have been possible though. I mean, with all these little breweries in Montreal, man, they're always doing shit, so it could have happened.
Oh, Dulcius Succubus, that's the one.
Yeah, like totally right on the top. Yeah, that's in my top. For sure, that was the one I was going to say too. What the fuck are you talking about, Nick?
Dulcius Succubus, True to Diab. That's the one I said tastes like dill pickles and blue cheese.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And I got dislikes for it. Anyway, True to Diab. I wouldn't be surprised because True to Diab just means the devil's hole. So it could be.
Yeah.
I bring holes.
You know what? I fucked up. That was the Kevin Spacey article. So. I got Canadian beer news.
Okay. What are you saying?
Did you guys go over the CBS thing yet?
No, I told Greg about it, or Greg, not Craig, Greg.
Greg.
Yeah, it's a doozy. Get fucked. Get fucked, USA.
Founders make it CBS. They're only letting it release in the United States in 750s, but they're putting 12-ounce bottles out in Canada and other countries.
And it's gonna be like and it's gonna be like $8. It's gonna be super cheap compared to us. Like it's gonna be like a third of the price.
Yeah.
Huh.
So because Greg's like, oh, could you gonna be able to get a bottle of CBS for me? I'm like, I hope I can get one for myself, but I'm like, they're totally putting them in like 355s or 341s, and they're like $8 a bottle. And apparently, you're going to get them the LCBO, and you'll probably be able to get a decent amount of them, like you did KBS. While over here, we're paying 25 suggested retail price for more like 30, more like 30 to 35 for a 750. It's ridiculous.
Well, Joe, what do you guys pay for a 750 or 650, whatever it is, of Bourbon County? Just
it's
regular.
It's 500 mil now, and it's they suggested retail price is 10.99. Most places go 12 to 14.
Because they're releasing it at the LCBO, and it's going to be $25 Canadian.
Well, they're owned by AB InBev, and they're pieces of shit, right?
But $25 Canadian, that's like $5 American. So
that's still like it's like $20 American. That's a lot for a 500 mil. But I will say this: they released Vanilla Rye 2 years ago at LCBOs, at a single LCBO.
It was 35 a bottle.
It was 35 Canadian, which was less than what it was here, which I think a suggested retail price was like $24.99. I don't think anyone saw it probably for under 30, if that. I bought mine for like 35 when they showed up here locally. So I don't know. It's weird, but I will tell you this: the CVS significant discount. That is crazy.
And CVS is a way better. I mean, CVS, if it tastes like anything,
like the old one,
tastes like, it's fucking.
The one I had on tap 3 years ago when they just had it on draft was fucking amazing. I'm like, if you just give me that right now.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's you. I like this is like KBS, whatever. It's a good beer, but obviously everyone's talking so overhyped, blah blah blah. Bourbon County, awesome beer. Again, so many people have had it and whatnot, but like CBS is the beer that if people are like, oh, should I go? Yes, go try it now. If you need to wait in line, look into it. I know a lot of people don't, but like, if I gotta go wait in line for 45 minutes, if you're in Canada, I'd probably go do that since you don't get CBS ever. Not that we do in America, really get at the same time, but like that is a beer that it's worth it. It's like a top 5 beer probably for me all time.
But with how spotty fucking their barrel program has been with, I mean, and again, their old beers, Backwoods and fucking KBS, I think are still fucking delicious.
No, Backwoods is amazing.
All their new incarnations are so bad, but it's also like CBS is so. When's the last time they actually released in the public in bottles? 11? Was it 11? 2011?
What, CBS? Yeah, it was 11.
So, I mean, you're talking about 6 years removed. Does that make it a new? You know what I mean? Does it make it new? Or I know they've produced it. Haven't they had it on draft in-house pretty much the whole time? In Kalamazoo or wherever the fuck they are?
I think most years they would have it. I think sometimes, like when people I think around the KBS release, if you went to the release at the brewery, they would sometimes have it on tap each year. But the last time they released it, like a significant release of that beer was 2014 when they released it to their certain distribution areas. Like I know here it showed up multiple places. I had like 3 or 4 pours of it, and I was like,
I closed my business down just to go.
Yeah, it's like can I just inject this into my veins right now because I don't know what's happening. But it was one of those things where I don't know, but I have confidence that the beer will be the same just because. And I hate this is going to sound stupid, but how limited it is. It's like the easier it seems a lot of these beers from Founders specifically have gotten to get. A lot of them outside of Backwoods, I think, KBS, they kind of not been there. And it's like you can get them wherever. It's like 2 bottles per person at the brewery, which is crazy because that means they didn't have a lot of it.
But
which I hope that means it's better. It's not there's no formula here that says it will be.
This release?
Yeah, I think it was you at the brewery. You can get a ticket for $50 and it gives you 2 bottles. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you figure they're distributing to every single country. It's not U.S. only. It's everybody that their footprint reaches. So I don't know. Like
that worries me that a lot of places are going to get like a case, and what I mean a case like a 6-bottle case for like each store. Like with special varieties, be like, yeah, in the Western New York area, we got 30 bottles. I'm like, there's like fucking 15, 20 stores. What do you mean 30 bottles? Yeah, this place got 6, place got 2. This place, I think it's gonna be like one of that. I hope it isn't because I want to be able, everyone to be able to try it and get it. But like, I feel like it's gonna be hard to get in each. It's not gonna be hard to get in general. Like, it's gonna be everywhere, but there's not gonna be a lot of it. That's what I'm thinking, and I hope I'm wrong. But then again, you fucking Canada's getting in 355s and just whatever. Go to LCBO and do online orders and have it delivered to your house for free.
Wonder why they didn't do that. Just do the small bottles and let
to have more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 2 bottles for 1.
And honestly, plus CBS, I mean, not that I don't want to share it with people, but like that's like a beer I wish I had like 2 4-packs of, and then I crack one bottle every now and then. It's not like a big one to where I carry it around a bunch of, like it's almost like a beer I want to drink, like a cognac, where I'm like, I want to have a CBS tonight. Just that small little bottle to myself and just fucking chug it, you know?
I wish the same thing. I wish I had a 4-pack to just, go on different beer tubing hangouts and just drink it in front of people and tell them how great it is, but they'll never get it. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck those people.
I want to be selfish. No, that's seriously, like, that beer is that good where it's like, I'd like to share. Like, if I get a bottle this year, I probably will share it with multiple people. But it's one of those beers where, like, if I shared it to myself, I'd feel a little bit selfish, but then I'd be like, you know what? Fuck that. This is a great beer, and I want it all. It's. I don't know. I hope you guys get it in Canada, and I hope it's not hard to get because it's.
Well, KBS was pretty easy to get this year, so we'll see what happens.
KBS shelf turds.
Overrated.
It's an overrated shelf turd. I pour all my bottles down the drain. He's always thirsty.
Well, I mean,
I'll probably see it in 20
You're
years.
conditioning your drain lines to fucking be better.
He has an amazing palates. Sometimes I just pour like New England style IPAs and like sours and shit just to keep him happy. But he really likes the barrel aged beers, especially when they're infected.
Or KBS like a night brew.
Well, you're not going to like CBS, Chris, because it has a burn. A little bit of a burn.
You know what?
For you.
For
everyone else, it doesn't. But for you, it will be because it's like
gotta get used to the burns.
Yeah. You won't care about the burn because you'll be like, this is fucking, I might have acid reflux later. Oh, I got heartburn right now. It doesn't matter. It's amazing. I'm going to fucking wake up in the middle of the night and be like, why did I drink this? Oh, because it was amazing. That's why I drink CBS. It's fucking awesome. I'm just glad they released it. What's that?
CBS. Didn't I see something about Ontario supposed to be getting a special release of
holy shit, Nick.
Bourbon County?
Yeah, we're
your own chat.
Bourbon County.
Yeah, we've covered A, B, C, and all of them.
All right, cool.
All
I heard was the letter CBS.
No, we talked about they are, and it's going to be expensive for the bottle. It's going to be like $25 for Bourbon County for a 500 ml.
That's more than brewery goes for here.
It's one of those rare
500, not a 750.
Exactly.
Where Ontario people get a good deal. It's like Sam Adams Utopia when they release, so we get it for a lot cheaper than you guys.
$115.
Most of the time, I mean, look at a bottle of Ardbeg Scotch if you're into that. I mean, and see how expensive it is here versus where you are.
And that's why whenever Chad used to mention this back in the day, and a lot of people who would watch the Albino Rhino channel, but then kind of it died down a little bit. But a lot of people who would bring up, oh man, beer's so much cheaper in the U.S. Than the States or whatever, and it was like, not really, because when you go back and forth between us and our Ontario specifically, like there are things you guys do get way cheaper there, like the Rochefort 10s, 8s. I mean, they're fucking less than $4 a bottle Canadian. But then there's super crazy expensive stuff. I mean, you look at Bring Out Your Dead from Bellwoods is coming out this Saturday, and it's $14 for a 500 ml bottle. Now, granted, it's an awesome bottle, right? It's an awesome bottle. That's an amazing beer when they've released it the last 3 times, right, or 4 times. But that's expensive. Like if you see 500 ml bottles here in the US, $12 it better be something amazing. Otherwise, most people won't pick it up unless it's super hyped and you can, show off on Instagram or Facebook or Untapped or wherever. But nowadays it's just people are going to pay for what they want, and a lot of these breweries are getting smart to that. A lot of people are getting upset about it, but if you are able, like Bring Out Your Dead, if someone wants to complain about the $14 price tag, that's cool. But 2 hours after they open, when it's all sold out, let me know how that goes, because it just probably sold it for $20 a bottle and still sell out that day. Like it's, people are going to pay what they want for products they want. Though certain breweries and in general, it's going to reach a point where people won't pay that, and you'll see stuff sitting on shelves, and you see that a lot in the States where there are beers that do sit on shelves because they are super expensive. They are amazing beers, but people are like, okay, I'm not going to pay that. But if the beer is amazing and it has a little bit of a hype at the very least behind it, people are going to probably pay whatever for the most part. They will sell.
My problem with it is I think they've got way too high of a limit, like 12 bottles per person now. I mean, it's going to, I would agree. I think 6 is good. I mean, whereas Double Tempest, which is coming out next weekend, they've got the opposite problem. They're doing freaking 3 bottles a person, which I think is too little. Like I think 4 to 6 is the sweet spot.
So when you say you have 3,300 bottles, no one should be able to buy 12 of them. I don't think. Not when it's something that's released yearly. Like if you want to, like all these New England breweries that do weekly sales of their New England style IPAs and all that stuff, I can see limits being whatever because they're constantly re-releasing them on a like bi-weekly or monthly basis, the same beer. But when you have something like Bring Out Your Dead, which hasn't been released in 2 years, it should not be 12 per person when you only have just over 3,000 bottles. You're talking, you might get that, and most people are going to buy the limit. Like almost everyone's going to buy the limit because
you're going to have people with mules that are going to buy like 3 or 4 dozen.
So you're going to get that into the hands of 275 people. And it's like, why not try to get that into the hands of 550 people? I know they're a business and they just want to sell, but it's like, it can be 6 and people can be happy with 6 bottles. And if you're not happy with 6 bottles, then, too bad for your trading buddies. Too bad for everyone else you're trying to buy a bottle for. I mean, 6 should be enough for you to drink one, put a couple in the cellar, and hook up some of your close friends. And if you can't deal with that, then I don't know. There's other beer out there, but it shouldn't be 12. Not in that situation. Not at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, not enough beer. It's all left up to the retailer, though.
No, it's all. It is the brewery. They're the ones that are making the limits. It's. Yeah. But
I'm gonna go grab a beer, but I'm gonna read a comment on the chat here. Raining on Your Parade says the Blanche de Chamblay did not warm as well as I expected, and I would agree with that. Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, most wheat beers you want to drink them pretty cool.
I mean,
usually around 40.
Yeah, I mean, I put mine in the freezer. There was chunks of ice in it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, there you go.
Ice cold.
I'm gonna be a little too cold.
You're getting those wheat, the wheat proteins in the actual globules of ice. And shit. Yeah, it's good stuff. But I wouldn't let a Belgian wit of any sort go too warm. I would have it above fucking cellar temperature personally. That's just me. But
and I will say this though. It's like one of those, like this beer. Honestly, just it shouldn't be warming up all that much. Like by the time it goes down pretty quickly, like mine was gone like 15-20 minutes. It's like if you're letting it warm up that much, if you want to do that's fine, but I mean most of the time I don't notice that for Belgian wheat just because it's gone before it gets to say room temperature. Live and learn though. Rain on Your Parade. Live and learn.
It's a process.
You have trouble learning, but I know you can live.
It's okay. Let it go, man. Let it go.
Raining on Your Parade. He's a good friend of ours. He just has a head-to-head battle going on, a little rivalry with Ewart, aka Teku Murray.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, Ewart hates him, and I guess Raining on Your Parade loves to be hated. So that's how this relationship works.
Some people just want to watch the world of BeerTube.
People are hating on you doing something good. Well, look at it.
Drunken one says
you're living in his head.
Drunken one says beer again. I love this subject. Drunken one. I know I sent you that email. The package should go out yesterday, and now they updated the thing, so you should get it by Tuesday. So I don't know. Whatever. That's on them. That's on them. But, it should be fun. I threw a gag beer in there just because I think you'll drink anything based on everything you've ever showed me when it comes to beer too.
Based on
your username, based on the fact that I've seen 8-hour hangouts with you drinking like Bloody Marys and mixed cocktails. I feel like the gag beer I'll throw in there you'll enjoy. I also threw KBS in there, a sour, and a couple local IPAs. So I feel you should
sour, baby.
Joe, you're into like making snuff films. You just want people to drink chiladas.
Oh, now listen, Drunken One, it's not chilada. It's doable. You'll probably even enjoy them.
How much mimosa fruit do you get?
Yeah, but he's down in Texas. He might drink a chilada. They drink chilada down in Texas.
Yeah, Drunken One would drink the shot. Well, Drunken One, would you drink a chilada? Is the question. I feel like we all know the answer, but I just want to make it official.
I think we know the answer too.
I just want to hear officially out of mouth.
But we don't want to assume. We don't want to assume.
Yeah. No assumptions.
No assumptions.
What is that?
Somebody backing up a truck?
Yeah, is that what kind of buzzing? Yeah, it's a weird buzzing.
Where's that coming from?
What the fuck?
Was that?
They keep printing
the noise.
You printing something, Nick?
No, that ain't me.
Is a
Is that
truck
really coming from me?
I have no idea. Let me mute you real quick. Get muted, little kid. No, it's not you. It looks like it might be. No,
Ain't me. Oh, it's Greg.
Oh, is it?
Really?
not.
What does it sound like?
Hang on.
Like the ring or something.
Sounds
might
very,
be, might be
sounds
the other
very,
fan.
very
Yeah.
misogynist.
Hang on. I'm muting Chris. Might be Chris. Yeah, I think it's you, Chris.
It did
I don't hear
stop.
it anymore. I don't hear it
It's
anymore.
not me.
Of course,
I
Greg's
have-
muted
I
all
have,
the time.
I have no noise.
You have a
Okay, well,
high
I'm
hiss.
unmuted now.
Big hiss.
It's that Ewert hiss. You know that that's the hiss that only dogs can hear. That's why Ewert can hear it.
Oh, official response from Drunken when he says, "Hell, fuck no, he would not drink the chilada." So,
Really?
yeah, that's on him.
Wow, he's got
Broken one has
standards.
a limit, huh?
Hey, I drank the
All the
chiladas.
screwdrivers.
Joe made me drink all the chiladas at once.
I didn't make you do anything. I sent you 2
Oh.
cans. You decided to drink them at once.
There was
listen,
totally
Joe,
peer pressure.
Joe, listen, you were in a position of power, and I had to do what you wanted in order to get ahead in, my career.
I'd like to
I didn't
apologize.
run
on
around his mouth.
I did give him the option of drinking 2 25-ounce chiladas. And he is now the official king of beer tube because he did so without a channel. So, he used it wisely.
Damn.
Well, do you?
Yeah, you know what? I'll do that next too.
A chilada?
After my second Ephemera that I got this pack, fuckers.
Would you get Ephemera Apple twice?
Yep, I did. I did not get Findom.
Oh well. What I got is the same thing Nick's got right now, the Maudit.
Nice.
I thought you were gonna say herpes.
Do a review.
Yeah, we should all
Do
jump on
another
Rod.
analysis.
Rod has it in the fridge. I have it in the fridge.
Oh, we're doing it live. Live here on Nick's
Hey,
channel.
I've got a couple.
Wait, what?
Got another bottle of this.
Wait, what are we doing live?
Whatever it is, you're not invited, Greg.
Fine, I'll go over to Paul's channel and do the dead stuff.
Oh, it's
And he
That's-
doesn't mean dead guy ale.
I don't even
So do you guys have to buy those in 6-packs? Like someone said they had to buy another 6 for one.
No, they-
there are
they
some
just-
that are available in singles. Go ahead, Joe. You can
Okay.
no. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, Nick mentioned this in the analysis that you can get the Tutamont,
Oh, the Tasters pack.
and the Chamblay in singles, right? Can you not?
No, I can get Findemol
Yeah.
and Modit in bombers, the big 750s,
Okay.
and I can get and I can get Blanche de Chamblay in 6-pack, and
Okay,
the
yeah.
small bottles. It used to be that I'd be able to get them all in like the 2 bombers and the all 3 in 6-pack, but now it's just Blanche de Chamblay.
I can get Blanche de Chamblay in a bomber.
Yeah, we get them all. We get them in singles here.
Same here. I get the same
Yeah,
thing as Rod.
probably
I'm
from
happy
Canadian
with the
fans.
status quo just because Blanche de Chamblay is not something I'm going to age anyway. So why would I care?
I would trade Maudit or Le Findamont and bombers for the Blanche de Chamblay we get right now. And I wish goddamn fucking Chimay Blue would come back as well. That's just
That's good.
Oh yeah. Oh, I miss that
Blue?
stuff.
Which one is that?
Oh, Shimmy
Really?
Blue, that's
Really?
like almost always
I
available
don't know.
here.
Fuck, I haven't had it. What is it?
You ever have Trois Pistoles from Unibrew?
Nope.
No.
Never had any of the Chimay. There's red, there's white, and there's blue.
What about like Rochefort 10? Have you had that?
Nope.
Chimay Blue is a quadruple from them, and it's very red wine like sort of beer.
Kind of.
Chris, my heart to heart to you would be
you guys say smooth.
it has a burn. It has a slight burn.
It's a
Smooth, yeah, it's very smooth.
It's smooth with a slight burn.
It's
Strong Belgian Dark.
It's-
It's not quite a quad.
It's above
It's,
8%. You're fucked.
It's roughly the same thing though.
And the more you age it, the more smooth it gets.
Yeah.
It's creamy and smooth.
It's too much smooth.
There's a lot of smooth around here.
Still hear that fucking little buzzing. I'm gonna fight
Some bottles of those for
Yeah,
$1.
it's not coming from me.
I might have
Yeah,
to.
it's Greg.
I mean, if you look on my channel there,
Yeah, it's the
Chris,
oven. It'll be off in a sec.
I
Okay.
did a series on like several bottles over the years for that.
I'll take a look. Should I
You did the
subscribe?
equivalent of Dar doing the like one heady top per week for 18 straight weeks or whatever.
Why are you comparing me Why are you comparing anything I did to that fucking asshole?
I just say he just did 18 straight weeks of Heady Topper. That's all he did. He wanted to see how it changed. Yeah, so you did the same thing with Shimei Blue. That's it. But you did it year.
The only thing that changed is that he got lamer by every fucking video. That's about it.
Oh, I learned a lot about Heady Topper.
I'm sure you did.
Look at this one.
Dar's terrible.
What
I'll give you guys.
I'm ready to do this review.
I'll give you guys.
Wait, you ready to do a review right now?
I'll give you guys a little heads up before we get there to the live review you're going to do. That my own opinion, the bikini versions are coming real soon.
Oh my god!
Oh jeez! Oh man!
How dare you upset everybody?
No.
Using sex to sell your chattel.
Well, no, I prove this because you're going to use your green screen properly. You're not going to have like the bikinis showing up in your eyeballs and shit like that, like fucking Chris Peters.
I it's not. There's no green screening involved.
Hmm.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Matt, what version of Bright were you drinking? Oh,
You're talking real humans on the tab.
Whatever the latest one was. To be honest with you, the base version. Like I don't know, man. Honestly,
I love that can there. Fucking that. It's fucking dynamite.
it's Bright.
No, the one that's in front of the camera right now.
well, he's talking about that one.
Another-
But it's like a couple days ago, the November 7th version. I didn't look it up. I don't look up any of that shit. But yeah.
Well, the one I said was it said right on it was brewed with citrus. So I wonder if
No, I think
that's just the base.
I think it's the base. It's actually a weird cursed beer for me. Like I've actually reviewed this earlier today, and it's the 4th time I've done it. And each time, each time like my camera failed or something fucked up, or like it's like the only beer that every time I go to review it ends up being fucked up. So yeah, George came back from Portland. He went up to Portland this weekend. Came back with a bunch of shit. So
Georgie.
yeah, George is the man. So yeah,
It's like every video I upload, I got to email YouTube so they can release it.
Wait, what?
YouTube, they got this thing, anything with beer now, I guess they're slapping on this thing. You might not be good for all advertisers.
Mm.
And
Yeah, that's pretty much
the thing, and they release it like in 2 hours. I was like, oh, you're good to go.
how many people here monetized their videos?
I
don't
am.
know.
I'm on it.
Oh, I do. I do.
I do. but
I know
have
you-
problems
I know
with-
you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, Joe does.
I do. I have to. There's
I
no reason
don't
not
make the
to.
money, but I monetize.
The problem I've had with monetization is every time Joe's in one of my videos.
Yeah.
Take money back.
I'm not.
I lose money off of them.
You
Well,
owe
let's
them
do
money.
more. Let's
They
do more.
bill you.
I'm not allowed to monetize, so I don't have 10,000 views on my channel.
Yeah, you gotta have 10,000 views first.
Oh wow! I even got 10,000 views. Chris, what the hell are you doing with yourself?
But anyway,
But yeah, no,
the secret with beer is you gotta make your video educational.
no, actually,
They put it in the educational section of YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then,
no. All you gotta do is actually fight it and hope that the actual process goes through where they review it and then monetize your video.
Yeah, it's like a
Because
When you mean fight it, do you mean challenge somebody to a fight from YouTube?
no. There's just
Yeah,
a button
because
you click and it says for manual review, and then it clears.
Do you just submit IRL or like you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you
Yeah, I
want to
do.
fight in
Yeah,
real life? Let's do this. Put up
No,
your,
like
your fucking dukes, old man.
here's what happens: you put a video up, you get the fucking orangish yellow fucking can't monetize because it's not suitable or whatever, and that's just their automatic process that hits keywords and shit like that. Like should not be good for their advertisers apparently. What you do is you basically
unfortunately, so much of YouTube is just automated that it's
Right.
stupid.
So what you do is you challenge it, and for the most part, so far for me, it's been fairly successful. Where everything I've challenged, for the most part, has been overturned and has been monetized. Because then that actually forces a actual living person to watch your video and decide whether it's worthy of monetization. So
Yeah, you click like a button and you do it, but
Right.
usually it's done. It's more a pain in the ass than anything.
it is a major pain in the ass.
Got to make those big YouTube monies.
Oh yeah, I mean, what the fuck would I do if I wasn't making my YouTube millions? Holy fuck!
I would resort to putting some kind of fruit in your scotch.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like months ago, that after I finished doing beer reviews and stuff, I was like, I don't expect to make enough money anymore to actually get a YouTube check. What actually set me over was that one night that some people sent me some super chats or whatever. That actually bumped my.
Wait, who sent? Oh, was it Chris?
I remember that.
Chris, and then I think it was Jace Westcott sent me $20, something like that. Yeah,
Jace Westcott. Wow.
Although super chat, YouTube takes 33% of that. So,
Wish I could do super chat.
No one's sending you money, Nick. Sorry.
You just have to implement super chat. Like you actually have to set it up on your channel.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe next time.
Cool. Yeah, get that set for the next Beer Anal Wysis we do, which
get all the super chats on the next one.
I'm sure people send you all kinds of money.
Get raining on your parade to send you $100.
I just like raining on your parade to send me a valid opinion at some point.
Oh shit! Who the fuck are you now?
I'm voting for Ewart because fuck raining on your parade. I love him. He's a good guy.
God damn.
Sorry, I had to channel my inner Ewart. I hate everything. I'm a hipster, but I'm not. That's just how it ends.
You need a walker. You're 80 years old.
I refer to everyone as you youngins. It's a great time, right? It's like, it's just.
I thought your favorite tagline was "fucking millennials."
No, that's Rod's favorite line because he has a friend. He's a friend on his. Todd is a millennial. We're not a huge fan of Todd, even though Todd's awesome.
Yeah, we always call Todd a millennial.
Yeah, because he is, even though he's not, but he is.
He's not, but he is.
He's like a 42-year-old millennial. Is that a thing? Yes,
he's like
it is.
Like you said, Brother Roth, he's like the baby face dude.
Yeah, he is. I swear, if you would have told me, I'd have been like, you're like, what, 30? 32? Maybe 35 max. I have 42. I'm like, all right, what? I'm pretty sure you're a millennial. Like, don't lie to us.
It's one of those nebulous fucking. It's one of those nebulous fucking things like Generation X, where everyone was, oh yeah, I'm Gen X, even though probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to Nirvana, dude. What's going on?
Let me see your driver's license. No, you're not there.
I saw Pearl Jam in concert, dude.
Get over to the boomer section.
Eddie Vedder signed my cast, man. I broke my arm and he signed my cast.
I thought you said he signed my cat for a second. I was like, that'd be really.
Hey, he might have. Who knows what Eddie Vedder's into? I'm not going to judge.
He signed my cat. That would have been great. Wait, what? Drunken One says, don't talk behind my back. I'm going to get a beer. And they said, no clams here in it because obviously talking about chiladas. They said, now talk your shit, smart ass.
We didn't talk about his back. We'll talk to it his face.
It's not just smart ass. It's smart ass.
We'll insult you to your face.
Drunken One. Talk your shit, smartass. Is that like dance clown? Is that like
I don't know.
Dance clown?
Drunken One, how many cases are we in right now? How many cases?
So basically he wants us to talk shit about clamadas or whatever, or clamados or
I'm pretty sure if we just unmute Greg, he can go for about 45 minutes about chiladas. To corrupt.
I mean, is he a fan of those fucking monstrosities? Is that what?
No, I gave him. He sent me a beer mail. This is a couple years ago, and then I replied, and he sent me stupid Buzz Millennium, and he sent me
Millennium Buzz.
It sent me what was the other shitty beer from them, like something 50, like Stonewall Light or some shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's hilarious. So here's 25 ounces. No, here's 50 ounces of chiladas. Have fun. And then he got some great idea to all of a sudden drink them in the same night at the same time in like 5 minutes. And then he didn't feel too good, and then he blamed it on me. And I was like, you're the idiot, not me.
Yeah, no, that's dumb. That's dumb as fuck.
That's not intelligent. But I mean, Greg. It's Greg. It's.
Another pressure.
You expect anything more from Greg at any time ever? The man.
Oh, Greg. I thought we were talking about Drunken One.
Oh no,
Greg. One too.
No, Greg. Oh, no, if Drunken One is drinking 50 ounces of chilada, then yes, he's as dumb as Greg.
Clamato thing. You used to talking Drunken One.
Oh no. I started talking about what did I mention Greg for? I don't know. Somehow devolved into Greg talk. I apologize. No one wants to talk about Greg.
Dude, you're not drinking anything strong tonight. What the hell?
No.
Always got him on eat. Oh shit!
I think it's called Maudit.
Maudit. Well, I don't give a fuck. It's French.
It's called Maudit. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
English is the dominant language in Canada. I don't give a fuck what those frogs say.
In Kandahar, what are you, a terrorist?
Kandahar, yeah. Kanadistan.
Durkistan.
I don't know if this will allow me to pop the cap off.
Yeah, well,
could you pop a top though?
Are you talking about like your significant other? I'm not sure if it'll let me pop the top off. Like it's like
It's almost like Chris on a science
I
experiment.
want to get live in here.
I'm gonna
I think I saw this in a volcano episode in the Brady Bunch. When I was
Chris
younger.
has euphemisms for days.
Okay, here we go.
oh shit! Fucking Rod took me off guard with that one.
It's gonna explode with foam, isn't it?
Here we go. Ready?
Oh.
Nope.
Bobby Brady all over again.
I'm waiting for it to foam up.
No, it's not going to. Why are you
How
drinking it?
goddamn old am I that I fucking
Yeah.
did that? Jesus Christ!
We were all there.
Oh, 8%. I'm fucked.
Well, not until you do Le Fin de Monde
We
afterwards.
need Eric's PSA. We can get Eric in here.
He can't do it. He can't do Le Fin de Monde.
I know I can't.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's got 2 ephemera. Yeah, I
Yep.
forgot.
Oh, they're gone already too. By the way, I already drank them.
Gonorrhea.
What'd you think of the ephemers?
It's, you know what? The apple is good in it, but the problem is it fades real fast. All that flavor.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. It's one of the best apple beers I've ever had.
Yeah,
Where-
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. Stupid.
So you got the Megadeth beer out of that too, right? Have you had that yet?
No, it's in the fridge.
That's a really
okay.
good one. I think that kind of
Actually,
caught
yeah, it
Nick
was-
and I off guard being as
Yeah,
good.
well, I really wasn't expecting super quality from a beer like a band beer.
Yeah.
Especially Megadeth, who suck.
All right, you know what? This one doesn't burn as much as I thought.
He says he's gonna put on a shirt and come in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you believe him?
No,
Yeah, that shirt's not coming on.
Oh, no,
Sure. It's coming in topless.
He's gonna use Pascal's skin
Coming in
as a
hot.
shirt.
He's coming in hot and topless.
just told him not to worry about pants.
he's coming in
Oh.
pantsless.
So Maudit's like roughly a Belgian double in style.
Yeah, around that. I think it's
Maudit's
classified as a Belgian, like a Belgian red.
Yeah, like they say double. They say double ale on the bottle. So
Does it?
So yeah, so it's somewhere within that sort of area. It's kind of nebulous, but
Yeah, I suppose it says double ale, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
I
what
didn't realize that.
that's what it's classified as. Style double.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
I always thought of this as like a strong amber rather than.
well, I guess
I like how it says on
There
the
you
bottle.
go.
I like how it says
There you
strong ale on Lee's. On Lee's what?
On Lee's? What are they talking about Lee
It's
for?
always on Lee.
There you go, strong ale on Lee's.
it all falls on me. Yeah,
That's one way. That's a really cool label, though.
yeah it is.
It's so cool.
It's
Like
so-
most
it's
of the
so smooth.
stuff is sort of based around like French Canadian history to some degree, like legend or myth or actual reality. So
Like Blonde de Chamblay, it's got the tail of the feet of wild. The was it the women of the queen, the king.
right.
They sent mail order brides to all the French settlers.
Yeah,
for winning
yeah.
the war.
It's pretty much Joe's life.
I'm not liking it.
Yep.
The only way you get laid.
You know what? I'm not liking this
or-
beer. It's
or
not
qua-
because of the alcohol burn at all. There's no alcohol burn on this one. But
No,
I'm just not liking it.
I'll say this about Unibrew that like I've never had a beer of theirs that has ever like basically put the alcohol in the flavor at all. Like everything's so smooth
Yeah.
and just like immaculately sort of crafted. Like that being said, like some of their stuff is kind of samey and kind of bland to a certain degree.
Hey,
But-
it's Guy.
Hey, Gee.
I thought that was a
How you
priest.
doing? Thought it was a priest.
You're a
You
priest.
put a shirt on.
You can put a shirt on at least.
That's one.
No, he's gonna stand up. He's not wearing pants.
I'm not.
Oh shit. Yeah, he promised a shirt. He didn't promise pants.
No,
You can't-
Well, what are you
Can't make
drinking?
super
Keaton?
requests,
What's
sir.
going on?
I wasn't drinking anything. I just was walking around, so I joined in. It's like, fine.
Oh shit. Well, why don't you chug that spice thing you have behind you there, whatever the fuck that is,
You got some whiskey.
Clubhouse, whatever.
Powder.
Yeah, just shove that in your mouth.
I mean, you could cheat and get like a little bit of water and just mix it up and drink it.
Yeah, that too. Whatever.
I'll see what I got here.
I basically want to see you puke out a cloud of spice. Is what I'm going for
Aw.
tonight.
It's like Spice Girl. Boy.
Jackass.
You got the Spice Girls.
Oh Jesus. Mel B and Jerry Halliwell and whoever the other ones were.
No, but to
One-
speak to what you're talking about, Lee, like I fucking actually the first beer, my first good beer I ever had in my life was Malt Deep, like around like
Yeah.
1999. Like I love that shit. You know what I mean? It was like one of my favorite beers, and I think like Unibrew, like I have no idea if it's them going from Sleeman's and back and forth to Sapporo and all that bullshit, but it seems like the to me the yeast changed quite a bit over time. Like it was
That
like
might have been it.
you know what I mean? It just seemed like something changed, and I always kind of put it on the yeast, but it actually got to a point between like probably about like 09, 10 to about like 2013, 14 to where it was like just mediocre and like numb. There was nothing
Right.
to it. And then it seems like it's come back over the years or whatever. I don't have no idea. I don't know what went on, but it was actually Mud Eat was my jam for a long time.
See, don't get me wrong. I still really like these beers a lot. And the thing with me is that being where I am in Canada, we don't get a lot of Unibrew at all. So my sort of experience with Unibrew is
Beer
like beer wasteland. Sometimes it's years between where I can actually have anything from Unibrew. You know, like especially their best stuff. Like Blanche de Chamblay is a standard that's been here for years. But other than that, every once in a while we just get something like the Unibrew I'm drinking now is a winter gift pack thing. It's just a special thing that showed up. And I don't know if it's a yeast change overall with their whole lineup or whether it's just my palate's changed over the years too, you know, like where I've had so many like Belgian style beers where I just kind of find these a bit more bland now or whatever. But that being said, I'm not trying to shit on Unibrew. I still really like these beers. I just find they feel a little bit subdued and just kind of samey to me, you know, like all the beers kind of have that in-house taste that just kind of feels they're not too different from beer to beer.
I think that's Belgian styles in general. They'll kind of have a bit of a sameness to them.
I don't know if I'd agree with that too much. I mean, the Brettanomyces kind of thing. Okay, yeah, Brettanomyces, whatever. Fuck you, Nick.
Fuck you and your English.
But I don't know. I've had enough like authentic stuff from Belgium where I feel like there's some pretty distinct differences between stuff. Like you put up a Duval against like an Orval or something like that, and it's like kind of night and day.
Yeah.
Plus the difference between like a stark hop character and like a subtle Belgian yeast is the difference is so much more smaller. When you're dealing with Belgian beers, it's like oh, this yeast like that yeast is like this. Like you're not talking about nth degrees to where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this hop is in your face this way, whereas Belgian yeast can be much more subtle. You know,
Right, and then you see like Duval doing like their different hop series, and I had like few years back, I had their Galaxy Hop one that was pretty wildly different from just their standard Duval. Like, like it was definitely markedly different than what they were doing. And then I think that's just kind of a introduction to modern brewing that's kind of maybe slowly filtering into the Belgian sort of scene, perhaps.
No, the like the way people kind of aggressively make beers move. I don't know. Is it the right way to put it? It is like more a non-Belgian scene to be in. Do you know what I mean? Like you see a lot more like barrel-aged Belgian beers. You see a lot more like aggressively hot Belgian beers nowadays. But if you actually like step back and like look at the difference between those and the way American IPAs or any beer, whether it be a barley wine or whatever, is treated, it's like a totally different thing. So it's like are they separate? Like it's almost like are they keeping current with the scene? At the same time, they've lacked so far behind. It's almost like they're actually gaining now, to where it's like they're like staying more. I don't want to say pure because that's a bunch of bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Like just staying more whatever in a flavor way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like everybody's pulling again. I talked about the thing politics earlier. Everybody's pulling in such one direction with hops. You know what I mean? Almost seems like Belgian beers are becoming more relevant because they're not being as fucking aggressively pulled in the other direction or some shit.
They're not as pretentious.
Yeah, I don't want to say that because there's nothing pretentious about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there isn't. It's not pretentious. It's just what people like. You know what I mean? But it's more like I don't know, a centering point or some shit. I don't know.
Maybe the fads aren't as influential with them. It's just they're just trying stuff. They're not necessarily. We have to do this. This looks interesting. We'll do this.
Yeah, it's like you go to a restaurant that makes all this crazy fusion shit, and then eventually go back to your old steakhouse, and he's like, "I made a steak here. Eat this fucking steak." And it's fucking the best thing you ever ate. And you're like, "Holy shit, steak's awesome." You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just want to eat fucking steak, and to me, Belgian beer's a steak.
And it's kind of weird to judge like Belgian and European stuff to the standards of the craft brew movement, because a lot of those countries are just sort of just seeped in traditional breweries. Like it's in-house traditional family owned kind of stuff where when you look at it, it's comparable to craft brews in a lot of ways. Like they're not the big mass produced like bottom line save money kind of breweries or whatever. Like they've been the traditional businesses for hundreds of years or whatever that are just brewing in a certain style or whatever, and they're doing it their way, and usually it's pretty goddamn good. Like I'd cite like Fuller's or something like that, where they haven't really faltered at all. Like there's stuff like Fuller's for the Jesus Christ, almost 20 years now I've been drinking their stuff. They've never really gone down in quality, and they're like a old style traditional British brewery. And I feel like a lot of the Belgian breweries are still sort of on that same level where they're, their stuff is, you could put it right up against some of the best stuff in North America as far as craft brew stuff goes.
I guess that's where like people's like preferences kind of lie. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like I'm talking about this in a negative way. You know what I mean? Like a lot of, there's a lot of people if how do I put it this way? If beer doesn't fit their taste, they view it as shit. Whereas like I know when I got into beer, I'm not saying it's correct, but I didn't be like, oh, I hate this beer. Or I don't like this beer. That beer sucks. I went, I don't like this beer. Why don't I like this beer? Or why do other people love this beer and I don't like this beer? Like it was a curiosity thing where it seems like a lot of days when people taste the beer and if they don't like it, it's automatically like that's shit. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a different angle. It's not wrong. You know what I mean? Depending on what world you live in, I guess. You know what I mean? But like when I tasted something I didn't like, I wasn't like, oh fuck that shit. I was like, why don't I like that? You know what I mean? Like, why don't I like this thing? It's the thing I love. Where it seems like nowadays anything that's like, oh, that taste sucks, no, or this taste I love, yes, and it's just that's all that matters. You know, it's a weird kind of
feels more like trends are dictating tastes than.
Well, yeah, I mean everything is trends. You know, what you taste is a trend. I mean, if you want to get that fucking basic about it, but I mean, it's different, but. Still a good thing, you know.
Yeah, and it's just kind of funny. Like I've said before, and I don't know if I'm necessarily 100% right, but I always just sort of thought that like sort of the British and the European and the Belgian sort of quote unquote craft brewery thing is definitely a lot more behind, just because a lot of them are steeped in tradition and they're sort of opposed to opening up to other ideas for the most part. But then now you're starting to see like Belgian and British and European breweries sort of starting to open up to, hey, let's make like a more hoppy IPA, or let's try these new styles or whatever. And they're sort of slowly kind of acclimating to that sort of idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it all sucks because it's beer, you know.
and I mean, I'm kind of happy that like Belgian beers are just kind of taking baby steps. You know, it's like, oh, Duval's doing like a triple hopped something. Okay, that's cool. You know, they're not going out of they're not going fucking nuts. They're just going a little bit out of their fucking wheelhouse, and they're trying something different. And the one I had, the Galaxy hopped fucking Duval, was fucking amazing. It was great.
Luckily, we don't ever have to worry about an innocent gun going too far from their wheelhouse.
But I mean, you know, like you have a lot of British breweries that are so traditional, and the ones that haven't been bought up by like Green King or whatever, you know, that are still like in-house, family owned, or at least been owned by the same people for like 50 years or more or whatever, that are still kind of doing the same thing, but they're slowly like leaking out new things here and there. Like Fuller's is very, very slowly sort of expanded their profile. Where you look at like Newcastle or one of those more slightly macro British breweries that, you know, oh, we're doing our Newcastle Werewolf and the Newcastle this and that, and we're doing these weird fucking seasonals to try to capitalize on the American market or whatever. I don't even know if Newcastle makes Werewolf now. Like, I know there's like 2 years or something that they had like Werewolf and like a couple other weird ones that they released. Almost like they were trying to compete with fucking Witchwood, which was doing all kinds of weird new ones and shit too.
Quiet.
His opinion is crazy.
Where the fuck are you, Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie, join us.
You know it's bliss.
Hey, Greg, you had this, right, Greg, recently?
What have I had? Yeah, I've had it. I think I thought it was all right.
It's like not a palo at all anymore.
Fruit helmet sounds like what you name your penis.
Correct.
What?
Wow, Nick, this was a classy show. Thanks for ruining
Fuck
it.
class.
Are you alluding to a flavored condom of some sort?
Back to the topic of Unibrew. I find this is probably my favorite of your entire series. Those are the ones I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The best of what they produce.
I just want to go back to the condom comment. What's the point of a flavored condom? Has anyone here actually gotten a blowjob with a condom on? It's just not something that really happens.
I hate the
It's not
taste.
really the same.
Oh, wait, sorry.
You hate the taste of them.
What?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I did buy a flavored condom once, but I was afraid to use it in actual sex. I use it for a blowjob, but I was afraid to use it in actual sex because it was like from a sex shop, and it was like a gimmick condom, and I was like, I'm not sure if this thing's gonna break if I actually use it for intercourse. So it was like, yeah. After she was done with it, tasting it, I put a real condom on.
Listen, Greg, when the blowjob's happening, you have to put it on the person you're blowing, not on your dick. So that's the difference. You know?
Oh, that's.
Well, you know, I mean, no, I mean, like, seriously, like.
Oh wait, is this like fucking? Is this like?
No, I mean, it doesn't work unless it's on.
Is this like the fucking Naked Gun where Frank Drebin put the body condom on and?
See, I get it. He's implying that I'm the one giving oral sex. See, that's funny.
Yeah, okay. Well, you never know. I mean, if it tastes good, it's not gay.
Huh? You know what? Yeah, why not? Mouth is a mouth, right?
I mean, what flavor do you like?
You can just pretend it's a big clitoris. Then it's not gay.
Yeah, exactly.
Mimosa flavored.
The best kind.
All that mimosa fruit.
Jesus. Yeah, but I never trusted like the sort of like the gimmicky flavored condom. It was just like a fun lark, and that was it. It was like, okay, I'm gonna put the real condom now. Let's, you know.
And then the real condom
Get it
breaks.
on.
No, it never. Well, it didn't. As far as I know, it didn't break.
Too bad the girl wasn't real.
Condoms don't break unless you're stupid with them.
That's fire.
Oh,
God damn, Nick! I'm gonna have to come strangle you double hard now.
Yeah, double hard for Nick.
lots of experience with hard strangle.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks slightly evil and white. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Of course, it's the angle of the webcam where he's like looking up
I look
at
like
it.
what?
Like that's
Look evil.
psycho Norman Bates kind of thing
In front of
going.
the Jamie, look evil. Oh, whatever. What do I have left? Oh, I have the fucking two Demon left of me.
So, what tasters pack did you get, Lee?
So it had Maudit, Fin de Monde. It had the Ephemer Apple, Le Tout de Monde, the Megadeth one, and it had the Blanche de Chamblay and the Raft Man.
Yeah, that's the
Did you
same
get?
one I got. But
Sounds
I
like the one we got here. Is it 6-pack or 12
Six
pack?
pack. 6 pack.
Oh, okay.
It looks like this.
Night, Matt.
Because didn't you post a picture
Take it easy, Matt.
tonight of a 12 pack that had like their honey beer or whatever?
Matt.
Yeah, I think maybe I got an old pack.
Yeah,
'Cause I got their. It had that in it. The Lune de Mel had the 12 Pistole
Yeah, we didn't get
And-
Trois Pistol. Yeah.
and Don de Dieu,
Oh
As
yeah, we
well
didn't
as-
get Don to do either.
as
Yeah.
well as Maudit, Fin de Monde, and Blanche.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But yeah, I think it was like from last season. And but the 12 pack that we normally get here had everything you got in your tasters pack, Lee, except for it wasn't the Ephemer by Apple, it was the elderberry.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But the elderberry was actually really good. I liked it.
Oh, I like all their Ephemer series, man. I think
Yeah.
they do fruit beers really fucking well.
Yeah, they
That-
really
that-
do.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought the cranberry wasn't really, that and the
I-
pear
I-
was kind of plain.
I like them
But
all,
the
man. I felt like, we sort of alluded to that they've sort of fallen down in years as far as overall their sort of stuff.
Hmm.
I think they've done fruit beer amazingly well in the last few years.
But that yeah, the Ephemera apple has got to be my favorite. Like you were saying, my favorite apple beer.
Yeah, I hate apple beers, but I love that beer.
Like the Ephemera Pum was really good too, especially when I had it on tap. That was really good.
I'm fighting
Bottle
my way
not
through
quite
the
as
Maud
good,
Mead
but
right
still
now.
good.
You not liking it?
No, it's on Mead right now, right, Joe? Yeah.
Don't be afraid to dump it if you don't care for it.
You have
Always-
your own palate, Chris. You like what you like. You don't
Your
like
palate.
that beer. You don't like that beer, man.
I enjoyed every drop of the Modit that I just poured for myself, but you know, if you don't like it, that's on you.
Here's
I don't wanna
where we
dump this
control
whole
you
six-pack.
and be sarcastic and say your palate's incredibly stupid and all this stuff, which it is, by the way. But I mean, just in this situation, it's
Fair
your
enough.
palate.
Yeah,
No, Chris, it's not on you as long as you get a fucking bucket in front of your face.
Yeah, just vomit on camera and everybody wins.
Yeah. Been a while since I threw up.
I'm liking this fruit. Oh, Greg's not here. I like this fruit helmet, but it's not a palate.
I'm here, Joe. Don't you worry.
I'll say it's not a palate at all. It just tastes like a kind of like almost a sour almost. The passion fruit and guava have such a tartness to it that it's like, I don't know. If you would have given it to me like, well, here's an American Wild Ale with guava and passion fruit and raspberry, I'd be like, oh yeah, totally.
But see, to me, it wasn't all that sour. Like I quite enjoyed it.
It's not sour. It just has a
you-
tartness from the guava and passion fruit, but it doesn't have any hop forward notes. Like they're kind of getting muddled in all the fruit. I couldn't tell you the base of this is a pale ale in the least. Is the problem?
No, there's no. From what I remember, there's almost no hops to it.
Mm-mm.
Ooh,
The lactose is nice. It makes the body and mouthfeel a little bit substantial and creamy.
It's almost like one of those milkshake beers.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it, but I didn't.
I
does
just
that
noticed that there's a Unibrew Teku. I gotta get one somehow.
Baby, is that a teku? Is that a teku?
It's like Unibrew Teku, baby.
Nice.
Anyway, just thought it was worth noting.
I do enjoy the color of it though, Greg. Like you can tell they're using like raspberries and whatnot in it.
Oh yeah.
It just has like this light pink color. It's pretty awesome.
Jamie says, and it's
like
if
a
it tasted
vagina.
good. I think
said it?
either Jamie's referring to your beer or he's referring to the flavored condom. But Jamie says if it tasted good, it's not gay.
That's
Oh,
right.
that was when he was talking about the condom talk.
I mean, when you think about it, you're just basically sucking on a warm popsicle, basically.
Warm
Popsicle, flesh popsicle.
Or depending how much blood is going on in the dick, that might be a hot popsicle. You know, whatever's going on.
I remember I once knew a guy who had sex with his first cousin, but he claimed it didn't count because he wore a condom.
Those
Oh
look like
yeah.
milkshake beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't have inbred babies, I guess it counts. Yeah. It's still wrong, very wrong. But porn has taught us that we have sexy cousins and sexy stepsisters and stepmothers, and
Oh yeah.
we might want to jump on those at some point.
You want to tap your sister?
I don't have a sister. If I had a stepsister and she
You
was
had a
hot,
sister. Yes, if she wasn't genetically related to you, maybe.
yeah, I mean,
Even if she's
that's why I
genetically
said
related to you, just wear
Nick.
a condom. It's okay.
Stepsister.
If
Yeah.
I just took 2 Viagra.
Yeah.
You can help me, but I'm your sister.
if my
You're my
hot
stepsister.
if my hot stepsister was like Dillian Harper or Lex,
Or Chris Lezak.
no, not Chris Lezak. Jesus Christ, kills stepsisters
Jesus Christ. God
and
damn.
buries them in shallow graves somewhere in fucking Manitoba.
That would be Chris Peters, but not me. Just for the record.
Oh, did someone say Lezak? I was
Yeah,
assuming
Greg
Chris
said-
Peters.
Greg said Lezak.
I love
Oh
Wayne
my
Harrison's
God.
impression.
So you-
Like, I'm gonna do it.
So you just confused Lizak with Peters. Good work, Lee.
Well, you're confusing me, and I'm drunk as fuck, Greg. So fuck you, you son of a bitch, you fucking asshole.
Don't apologize to me.
I'm
Apologize to Chris
not,
Peters.
who am I apologizing to? I didn't apologize to anybody. I called you an asshole. That's not an apology. What the fuck?
So apology where I'm from.
Okay, well, fuck you, Greg. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. There you go. I'm sorry, dude.
I wish women were that. I wish women were as enthusiastic about as you are.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm every woman and I'm every man.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, it's very deep if you ever meet me. Just saying.
Where's this chat going now? Who knows?
Oh God, who knows? Who cares?
It's in the gutter.
Always was. We started together. The first thing we started talking about was Kevin Spacey.
I like how Rod's still in here and that he's gaming online live right now.
Yeah, I just love that Rod's kind of listening to this bullshit and it's like, oh God, I'm never gonna hang out with these motherfuckers again.
And yet next week he'll make the same mistake.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, how's that World of Tanks War Stories? Is it good?
Actually, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
You just like to blow shit up, right? Oh,
Goddamn right.
That's not
Jamie's looking at the comments here. Jamie's talking about how he can get the same Tasters pack that I've got to hear from Unibrew. He says he's $29.50 there for the 12 pack.
Ooh.
It's like $27.99 here.
Just
Now,
come back and buy what you need.
Yeah. In Ontario, do the beer prices, are they before tax or including tax?
Including tax.
Including tax.
What about you?
Oh, down here it's including tax.
Oh, with it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, totally up to you. I mean, 12 beers for $29.50. When you divide that, I guess, against 12 beers, it's less than.
Yeah, it's about as much as a fucking
$2.50 a beer.
Bud Light Rattlers.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, what's
I went-
$29.50 divided by
Went to
12?
buy a beer in Quebec is cheaper, and then I found that Game of Thrones wine is like, how much is this? Like $27. I was like, nope.
Nope.
$27 fucking dollars for a bottle of wine.
Game of Thrones. Again, pay for that copyright.
Just for the Game of Thrones.
Does that include all the poison in it? Oh, spoilers.
I'm not going to buy it, and I just wanted to let them know that it was me.
Fight the power, Nicholas.
But they had a fuck ton of different whiskeys. Holy shit, they had a lot there.
I tell you, I'm really fucking enjoying this whiskey. The
What
Lachag,
whiskey are you having? Oh,
Lachag 10-year from the Isle of Mull. I
was stuck.
just over a week ago, and I've got like half gone.
I was stuck at my rich boss's house the other day, having to wait for a technician to finish something, and I
You fucker.
dipped in. I may or may not have dipped into her liquor cabinet that has a whole bunch of single malt scotches. Which, although I couldn't tell you what I had, though I had some
you
Cragganmore 13, like nothing crazy special.
Ooh,
I mean, they don't like Cragganmore some 13-year-old. I had
You had a
Maker's-
13-year-old.
Makers no. No, I'm not no. I keep them at least.
Not an
over.
Alabama
You're
conservative.
not one more.
I think in Canada, I think the age of consent is 16, so let's keep it over that.
Yeah.
And I had a Maker's Mark 46. That was pretty good. I actually quite enjoyed that. A bunch of different shit, although frankly, after a while, I don't remember what it was. And nobody
Anybody
knows how
else
to
got their
respond to that.
YouTube videos approved manually by YouTube?
Me?
Me?
All the monetization shit.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
It's really we did cover that earlier, but I mean, I don't think I
No,
said
just
anything
get
about
approved yet. Any of them got approved?
Oh yeah, mine's get approved all the time usually.
I wonder, should I fight them anyway? Because my videos usually include swearing.
They don't really care. I don't think too much about swearing.
They approved one of my videos. There's hope for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I suppose
he does all kinds of crazy stuff.
The thing is, by the time they approve your monetization, you've already gotten most of the hits that you're going to get everything on that video.
Why you got to bring everyone down with your negativity?
Sorry.
You are sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, it's worth it. I mean, even if you don't make too much, it's just the kind of principle. I think it's
Oh,
just
we've
like-
already been given 3 dislikes in this video.
3 dislikes. Hate is real.
Hate is gonna hate.
What was the other video?
Jordan
5?
found a
5?
video. What?
Wasn't there 5 dislikes on the other one?
6.
Oh.
I bet I know where at least one of them came from. It's probably Jordan, that wannabe Nazi.
Well, it's probably Jordan and his 6 other accounts.
Probably that little pussy. Won't
It
stand up.
gotta
To...
suck when you can't even be a real Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even a real Nazi. He's just a wannabe Nazi, which is sad as fuck. PP the frog, dudes. PP the frog.
PP. Yeah, they drink PP, that's for sure.
Maybe you have one from Cindy Ben out there.
Cindy Ben. You know,
You know what
she's
Cindy
like,
Ben is, right?
yeah, she's like the candy man. You see her name 3 times, and all of a
Candy
sudden,
Man.
Right?
all of a sudden, she randomly joins your chat and talks about how beer is terrible and marijuana is fucking like the devil, and that she totally doesn't put fake babies, dolls into her.
Oh, Jesus.
Some of her
vagina?
videos. No, about she might do
You
that.
see,
I don't know.
unlike Candyman, Cindy Ben is not an urban legend. She actually exists.
She does.
I don't know. There's things out there saying maybe people are making her up.
Well,
when you Google
well,
her, there's
well,
some
here's-
out there.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. Okay, if that's true, then this is really scary. This is actually legit supernatural shit because the Candyman, in his initial form in the initial movie, is based on a story by Clive Barker where the Candyman is actually a tulpa, which is a East Indian thought form, which is the idea that if you believe in something enough, it will become real. So the idea is that an urban legend is so believed in that it becomes a real thing. So if enough people believe in Cindy Ben, she actually becomes real, which is scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Just ignore the Candyman sequels because they totally do away with that shit in the sequels. But the same.
Never. Come on.
I've never seen any
Sounds like-
Candyman movies.
Sounds like calling things fake news suddenly makes it real, makes it
Yeah,
not real.
you just need to see
The Cindy
Candyman,
Davis
Greg, and I
Candyman
think you will.
was
Greg, watch Candyman. I think you will actually enjoy it quite a bit, sir.
The first one.
Yeah, it's one of those I've been meaning to watch for a while, just never gotten around to it.
Do I have to do it on They Must Be Destroyed on Sight to watch it? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, hell yeah. Hey, I didn't comment on that, but by the way, that movie you guys did a few weeks ago, A Nightmare, Paul really overemphasized the amount of vagina that was in that movie. You did not see any slit in that. I'm just throwing that out there. Unless there's, unless there's, I freeze framed that scene multiple times. Unless there's an uncut version that I'm not aware of, there was a little bit of bush at best in that scene.
I think we might have saw a slightly different version than you because I did see vagina in that film, but that's just.
Oh. Well, then I need to find the version you saw then.
But still, it wasn't massive amount of vagina. It was just like one brief scene. So
Just regular amount of vagina.
yeah, regular amount of vagina for 1980 or whatever the fuck the movie was released. Probably excessive, but
I watched this old snuff, well, not snuff film, old, I don't know, exploitation film or something called Naked for Satan, and that was basically a porn movie.
ah, nice.
I'm surprised only 2 images for Rule 34 for Candyman.
Guy, it's up to you to make more.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to finesse that hook into more sex acts. That's all there is to it.
Too shitty Photoshop Rule 34.
Yeah, but no, Candyman is like a legit classic. That's one of the few really great horror movies in the 90s. The sequels, not so much, because they totally do away with the idea of the original film. They just make him another Freddy Krueger, basically.
That's with Tony Todd's in that, right?
Yeah, Tony Todd. Fucking great.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I liked him in I like the Night of the Dead remake, which I like a lot more than I like that movie a lot more than a lot of people do.
I love that film.
I'm not liking this fucking Raft Man though.
No?
No, I didn't really care for that one either. It's supposed to be a smoked malt.
Yeah, it's weak sauce for what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
you know
it
what?
smells great.
I had it back in 2012 or something. I think Chad sent me one, or maybe my buddy Jesse got me one. Anyway, it was like the smoke was much more noticeable back then. For some reason now it's just fucking weak sauce.
It feels like the only sort of smoke qualities that are in it probably come from the yeast more than anything else, and because I don't think they smoke the malts at all for it. Like I don't believe they do at all. It just doesn't make sense.
I don't get any smoke at all from that Raftman.
Yeah,
I get it from the
Like-
smell. The taste is nothing. There's no smoke.
yeah. It's very bland. It is very bland.
Based on not so far, that's the worst one out of this pack.
That is the worst one of
Yeah, it is the worst one in that pack.
Good. See, my
Lost
palate's
to
not too bad,
Chamblay is good, like as you already noticed. If you had a Findamon, you'd probably I don't know, it would be a bit heavy. I really like it. I'm trying
I
not
think
to.
Joe's drunk. Joe, you drunk?
No, I'm not. I wish I was.
Yeah,
Joe is
went
rarely
quiet.
ever drunk. He's
Joe,
actually
Joe drinks water all night.
Yeah, I'm trying to be polite and let
Trying to be
people
you.
talk about awesome topics. I mean,
See, say what you will about Joe. You know, he's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. His opinions don't matter. He is actually a
This is all
very
true.
he is actually a very disciplined, a very rational, logical person who drinks in a fashion that benefits him and not people watching him. Joe knows when his limit has been reached, and he is rarely ever drunk or even slightly intoxicated on any hangouts, which I do respect, although I also hate,
Yeah.
because I think he's kind of
What if I ever get hammered on a hangout? I've never been drunk on a
here's the
hangout.
thing. Here's the thing. Joe is almost a teetotaler,
Huh?
but not quite. And so a part of me hates him relentlessly, where I hope he dies in a horrible fashion with lots of blood and gore. But at the other time, I totally respect and love him at the same time.
I see. Here's the thing about Joe: is Joe's a responsible human being, and I know for a fact that he wears a flavored condom whenever engaging in any sort of sexual act with a family member.
well, that's good to know. Jeez, I don't. Did I even comment on that? Oh, God damn it! No. Why did I even say anything? I don't even want to say anything to that. That's horrible. Leave it alone. Drop it. It never happened. We're still live. Oh my God! God damn it! No. No.
It's over for you now.
Joe, I don't believe you wear flavored condoms. I'm just putting that out there.
Are-
That's
are-
on the
are-
record. That's
are
on the
you-
record right now.
Are you just saying he bangs family members bareback?
I don't think he fucks his. No, listen. I don't think he fucks his family. I'm going to put that out there as well. Right now, I do not think Average Joe fucks anyone who is related to him.
Well, that's the name of this hangout.
That's on him.
No, it's not on him, and it's not on anyone he's related to.
Oh,
This is so much different than my Thursday shows.
It's all over.
No kidding.
It's all
Oh,
over his
shit.
stepsister.
Literally.
God damn it! I'm sorry, Joe.
This is what I get for just
I'm
letting you
sorry
guys
for
talk.
two things. Number one, I'm right here. Like I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. I can
Seriously.
hear everything. I can address things. I'm not, but I'm here.
Is Joe here?
And then number two is why isn't this offline again? I was just confused why this hasn't been offline for like the last half an hour.
Because I'm
Because these
desperate.
people are not as a good a friend to you as I am. That's
Well,
all. That's the only
True,
thing.
I gotta
That's
go.
true. I mean, on a scale of 1 to piece of shit, Nick is an asshole.
I gotta go.
Nick
he's
is
not
drunk.
All
wrong.
right, great. Okay, Guy, have a good one, sir.
Do you appreciate
Thank
the
you.
time? I know it's a
Joe doesn't wear flavored condoms. Joe doesn't wear flavored condoms. He wears flavored condoms.
See,
He
Joe doesn't wear
corrected- he-
flavored cum.
No, I'm just reading what Jamie's comment is.
he corrected the spelling of flavored with the U that you guys in Canada and
Right.
in the UK have.
No, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. It wasn't Jamie's best work, but I appreciate his effort.
No, he did a great job because that's
It's
what it was about.
not necessarily a smooth move.
No, it's very smooth. Very smooth.
Super smooth.
The Oxford Dictionary, motherfuckers, is very smooth.
Should we take this offline?
I think
Probably a
he-
good idea.
Just in all honesty, you probably should have never taken this online to begin with.
yeah, probably not.
Probably.
Started out kind of heavy.
But to end this, to end
I
this
think
chat,
we alienated people right at the start by talking about like Kevin Spacey and
It went to
probably so,
weird
and-
places.
and in the grand scheme of things, the best way to end the show is to simply say, Nick, that's on you.
Yeah, and Chris Peters killed those women.
All of them.
And
But
he
will somebody ever-
sodomized. He
The
sodomized
investigation
Kevin
is
Spacey.
coming soon.
If you've sat through this, congratulations.